When you got right down to it, a busted lip wasn't all that bad as a graduation present. Julie had been delivered far worse in the 20 years since her mother remarried. Her only regret was that her stepfather had ruined what should have been a happy day. She had a right to be happy, she thought with defiance. She had graduated from veterinary school with highest honors and survived an extraordinary confrontation with a pack of timber wolves as she wrapped up her internship at the zoo. She played with the cut on her lip and tried to will the swelling down. Her mother's second husband had been a constant shadow in her formative years, and even now, damn him, he still found a way to loom large. Guess the cap and gown was too much for him to endure. She merged onto the interstate, stuffing down her hurt and anger. A light rain started to fall, and she set the windshield wipers to intermittent. It had been 6 years since he'd raised a hand to her, ever since she turned 18, ever since she had moved out of the house. She shook her head to stop what she referred to as the downward spiral, the negative thinking, the wrongful thinking. She had spent so many years blaming herself for her bruises and broken bones. But she was not to blame. She had believed that if she were perfect, everything would be all right at home. But perfect was never good enough, not when someone maliciously wanted to find fault. She gave herself a mental nudge. She didn't deserve what happened today. Not the verbal abuse, not the swift backhand slap. None of it. Not today, not ever. She pulled off the highway and into the parking lot of a silver diner. She took a stool at the counter and ordered up a short stack with some sausage patties and a side of hash browns. The coffee was poured without asking. The waitress glanced at her lip, then looked up at her sharply. "Cut myself shaving," Julie said in response to the silent question. That earned her a smile. "You traveling far?" asked the waitress. "Oh, yeah," she said meaningfully. "Good," said the waitress. "Good for you, honey." She slipped the meal ticket through the pass-through to the kitchen and nodded at Julie before moving down the counter to refill a trucker's coffee cup. Julie watched her for a moment, then opened her road map to the ugly phosphorescent glare of the overhead lights and squinted. Her route took her from her home state of Virginia, through Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and on into South Dakota. Although she could probably make the journey in 3 to 4 days, her car could not. She would need to stop her travels each day when the temperature gauge started to needle upwards.